from North Branch, we have Chris Pratt, who is a junior. Bob Poplinski is captain of the team. Bob is a junior as well. Quinn Hoagland, who's the only senior participating today from North Branch. And rounding out the North Branch team, Adam Granke. So we welcome all of you from North Branch. Congratulate you as well on coming to the championship round of High School Challenge. And before our game gets underway, I have some very important thank yous to take care of. First of all, thank you to our underwriters for High School Challenge, and they include this season the Genesee Intermediate School District, who's been with us throughout all of these years with High School Challenge. Citizens Bank, also a perennial underwriter of High School Challenge, and Kessel Food Markets, who've also joined us as underwriters of High School Challenge. Their civic-mindedness makes it possible for us here at TV 28 to honor the academic standards and achievements of many of our area young people. So a round of applause, please, for those fine folks. Also, we are pleased to say that this is our second full season in which this has truly been a high school challenge. Last year, we began a program here at TV 28 using as crew people for our coverage of this event student interns from Mott Middle College, located on the Mott Community College campus here. And once again this year, we have had a terrific group of young people who've been a part of our crew and making this a truly high school endeavor across the region. So I want to thank Karan Baker, Christina Beardsley, Christina Dowd, John Huvis, Matt Riley, and Hava Tankersley for their work throughout the season as well. You see in front of me some beautiful plaques. Our trophies this year were made available to us through A+ Graphics, and Mike Pearl at A+ is in our audience right now. He designed our new High School Challenge Championship Awards this year. So Mike, thank you, and thank you A+ Graphics. We're ready to begin. I remind you that our judge for High School Challenge in this championship game, Barb Powers from Genesee Intermediate School District, and our timekeeper, scorekeeper for this game, Christina Dowd. Teams, you've been here many times before, but I'll do this one more time. Your rules for round one: I'll ask you a series of questions worth 10 points apiece. The player buzzing first may answer when I recognize you. If you're correct, your team scores the 10 points. If you're incorrect, the other team gets a shot at the same question. Remember, you may interrupt me anytime I'm asking a question. There's no point penalty if you're incorrect. However, at that point, I would repeat the entire question for the other team. Good luck in this championship game. Here we go. This German artist was the first to design, print, and publish his own books. One on the art of fortification in 1527, another on human proportions in 1528, illustrated with his own engravings, signed with the initials A.D. Bob, North Branch.
Durer.
Durer is the correct answer. Here's your next toss-up. It consists of a tube about 12 feet long, wrapped twice in a circle with 3 valves and a large bell. Mark Goodrich.
Sousaphone.
That's incorrect. Consists of a tube about 12 feet long, wrapped twice in a circle with 3 valves and a large bell. What is this musical instrument? Clint, North Branch.
Trombone.
It's also incorrect. The French horn is the correct answer. Here's another toss-up. His uncle Charlemagne leaves him behind to guard a pass against the Saracens. When attacked, he refuses to call for help until it's too late. Who is this title hero of the great medieval French epic? Bob, North Branch.
Roland.
Roland is the correct answer. Here's your next toss-up. In Greek, the name means City of Glory, the home of the Black Sea Fleet. It was besieged during both the Crimean War and World War II. What is this Ukraine port? Time's up. Sevastopol is the correct answer. And here's your next toss-up. Unfortunately, one critic wrote, he is known mostly by his worst pieces of music. Peer Gynt, for example. Who was this Norwegian composer? Anthony Goodrich.
Wagner.
That's incorrect. North Branch. Time's up. Edvard Grieg is the correct answer, and here's another toss-up. It is the most toxic chemical compound in existence. An ounce could kill as many as 1 million people. Abbreviated TCDD, it is known by a more familiar name. What is that more familiar name? Time's up. Dioxin is the correct answer, and here's another toss-up. It was formed in Cairo in 1945 and now has 21 members, including Saudi Arabia, Syria, Lebanon. Bob, North Branch.
The PLO?
It's incorrect. It was formed in Cairo in 1945 and now has Anthony Goodrich.
OPEC?
Also incorrect, the Arab League, or the League of Arab States is the answer. Listen to this carefully. Given that a syllogism is a form of deductive argument, what conclusion can you legitimately draw from the following syllogism? Every question has an answer. The answer to every question is Flint. Adam, North Branch.
Every answer to the question is Flint.
That's incorrect. Goodrich, Anthony.
Every question is about Flint?
It's also incorrect. The correct answer is, I have to say this properly, the correct answer is, the answer to this question is Flint. Okay, here we go with another toss-up. In multiplication, it holds that the quantity A times B times C is equal to A times the quantity, Bob, North Branch.
Distributive?
It's incorrect. In multiplication, it holds that the quantity A times B times C is equal to A times the quantity B times C. It seems obvious, but the name isn't. What is this law of mathematics called? Mark Goodrich.
Commutative?
Also incorrect, the other way. Associative law. Here's another toss-up. April is the cruelest month breeding lilacs out. Bob, North Branch.
Elliot's the Wasteland?
That's correct. This 1813 battle, the largest ever fought before the 20th century, is sometimes called, Bob, North Branch.
Battle of New Orleans?
It's incorrect. This 1813 battle, the largest ever fought before the 20th century, is sometimes called the Battle of the Nations. Near what German city did Napoleon suffer this defeat? Mark Goodrich.
Waterloo?
It's incorrect. Battle of Leipzig, or Leipzig. Here's your next toss-up. After Judas Iscariot hung himself on the field of Al-Qadama, the remaining 11 apostles chose his successor by drawing lots. Who won this lottery to become the new 12th apostle? Chris, North Branch.
Bartholomew?
It's incorrect. You may take it. Goodrich. Goodrich. Catherine.
Thaddeus?
It's also incorrect. Matthias is the correct answer. Owners of this kind of stock are entitled to a set dividend from the company profits before any... Clint, North Branch.
Preferred stock?
Preferred stock is correct. Your next toss-up. It was the name given to a group of writers disillusioned by World War I. Bob, North Branch.
Lost Generation?
Lost Generation is correct. He insisted that the common interests of the colonies required a common government. To illustrate the point, he drew a chopped-up snake with Bob, North Branch.
Ben Franklin?
Ben Franklin is correct. They're the Film and Video Awards in the Netherlands, named for a 17th century artist. It's the group who recorded the theme for Friends. What's the Bob, North Branch.
Rembrandt?
Rembrandt is correct. In 1831, William Lloyd Garrison began publishing this abolitionist newspaper. What was it? Anthony Goodrich.
The Freemen?
It's incorrect. In 1831, William Lloyd Garrison began publishing this abolitionist newspaper. What was it called? Chris, North Branch.
The North Star?
Also incorrect, The Liberator is the correct answer. For 10 days in December 1944, German forces advanced 50... Ben Goodrich.
Battle of the Bulge?
That's correct. He used musical terms for the titles of many of his paintings, including Symphony in White, Nocturne in Black and Gold, and several arrangements in gray and black. Adam, North Branch.
Whistler?
Whistler is correct. Whistler's mother is actually arrangement in gray and black, number 1. Mike Powell is the current world record holder in the long jump. To the nearest foot, what is that? Bob, North Branch.
29 feet.
That's correct. Felix Mendelssohn's Symphony No. 5 in D minor was composed to celebrate the 300th anniversary of Martin Luther's establishment of the German Protestant Church. What appropriate nickname has been given to this symphony? Ben, Goodrich.
Luther Symphony.
It's incorrect. You may take it, North Branch. I was finished. North Branch, Bob.
The Reformation.
The Reformation is correct. Here's another toss-up. When it was published in 1900, Theodore Dreiser's story of a naive country girl who becomes a successful actress after... Bob, North Branch.
An American Tragedy.
It's incorrect. When it was published in 1900, Theodore Dreiser's story of a naive country girl who becomes... There's the buzzer. That will end the first period of play. Sister Carrie was the correct answer to that question. Goodrich, as you can see behind me, you trail at this point, but here's a quick chance to catch up because this is our lightning round. I'm about to give you a choice of 3 categories. Once you've selected, you'll have 60 seconds to answer up to 10 questions in that category. Remember, you may consult during this round. You don't have to buzz in, but I'll be accepting answers from Mark, the team captain, only. Mark, if you don't know an answer, you must say pass before I continue. We'll give you 10 points for each correct answer. 20-point bonus if all 10 are correct. Goodrich, once your 60 seconds is up. North Branch, you'll have 30 seconds to answer any of the questions they missed, passed on or didn't get to, and then we'll repeat the process. For this championship game, Goodrich, your choices of categories are Beeline to the championship, championship seasons, or the championship spirit of 76.
Okay. Championship seasons.
Okay, you know what the 4 seasons are. These are 10 general questions. All of the answers will include the name of one of the 4 seasons in the answer somewhere. Summer, fall, winter, or spring. Here we go. We begin with number 1. Most familiar song from Gershwin's Porgy and Bess.
Summertime.
Summertime.
Correct. His first million-selling album was Darkness on the Edge of Town.
Pass.
Short story by Edgar Allan Poe about a premature burial.
Spring burial.
Incorrect. This flavor of Lifesavers can cause sparks in the dark.
Winter green.
Correct. Unusual sunny weather in the autumn.
Indian summer.
Indian summer.
Correct. Abraham Lincoln is buried in this Illinois city.
Springfield.
Springfield.
Correct. Boundary between the Appalachian uplands and the Atlantic coastal plain.
Fall line.
Correct. Salt Lake City, Utah will host them in 2002.
Summer Olympics.
Incorrect. Oberon, Titania, and Puck are characters in this comedy by Shakespeare.
Midsummer's Night Dream.
Midsummer Night's Dream.
Correct. Tide that has the greatest rise and fall.
Fall tide.
That's incorrect. And that is through all 10. And you'll score 60 with 6 correct answers. 30 seconds are reset on our clock, North Branch. Remember, a name of a season will appear first. His first million-selling album was Darkness on the Edge of Town.
Fall.
Incorrect. Short story by Edgar Allan Poe about a premature burial.
Winter death.
Winter morning.
Incorrect. Salt Lake City, Utah will host them in 2002.
Winter Olympics.
Winter Olympics. Tide that has the greatest rise and fall.
Springtide.
Springtide is correct. For 20 points, the short story by Edgar Allan Poe is The Fall of the House of Usher. And even I knew this one, which it surprised me. The first million-selling album was Darkness on the Edge of Town. Bruce Springsteen is the answer there. Okay, North Branch, you may select between Beeline to the championship or Championship Spirit of 76.
Beeline.
This is B as in the letter B. These are 10 general questions. All of the answers will begin with the letter B. Here we go. We begin with number 1. They were the Reds in the Russian Civil War.
Bolsheviks.
Correct. What a lepidopterist studies.
Bears. I don't know.
Blisters. No.
Bears.
Incorrect. They had a 1990 hit with Love Shack.
B-52s.
Correct. Of Baltimore, Boston, and Buffalo, the largest city.
Boston or Baltimore. I don't know.
Boston.
Incorrect. In Paradise Lost, he's Satan's second in command.
Beelzebub.
Who?
Beelzebub.
Beelzebub.
Correct. Nebuchadnezzar ruled there. He built his
Babylon.
hanging
Babylon.
garden. That's correct. Rod-shaped bacteria.
Bacillus.
That's correct. He was Britain's foreign secretary under David
Balfour.
That's correct. It won the 1988 Pulitzer Prize for Toni Morrison.
Beloved.
Correct. In Rossini's opera, it's Figaro's occupation.
Barber.
Barber is correct. And that's all 10. We will give you 80 points for 8 correct answers. Goodrich, 30 seconds is set. Remember, both answers will begin with B. First, what a Lepidoptera studies?
Butterflies.
Butterflies is correct. Of Baltimore, Boston, and Buffalo, the largest city?
Baltimore.
Baltimore is correct. So you score 20 points on your half. A lot of points scored in our lightning round. We'll total all of those up and be back with some extra credit to determine our 1996 High School Challenge champion. By saying this is our final round. In fact, that's really true now. This will be the final round of this season on High School Challenge. It is for extra credit teams, so anything can happen. I'll ask you toss-up questions. The rules are exactly the same as they were in round 1. You'll score the 10 points for a correct answer. The difference is that in this round, you also earn a shot at 10 points worth of extra credit with a bonus question. Remember, on the extra credit questions you may consult, I'll be accepting the answer from the team captain. And also remember, please, that you may consult on the extra credit questions only. Do not consult on the toss-up questions. At the end of the game, when the buzzer sounds, if we're in the middle of a toss-up extra credit cycle, we will complete the cycle before the game is over. Good luck to both teams. Here we go. Your first toss-up. It was a decade of change. Germany was united under Kaiser Wilhelm. France's Third Republic was proclaimed. The 15th Amendment to the Constitution was ratified. What decade was it? Bob, North Branch.
1860s.
That's incorrect. Goodrich, Anthony.
1870s.
1870s is correct. Goodrich, your extra credit. It lies between the Grand Canyon and the Petrified Forest. It is caused by the erosion of the multicolored sand and
Painted
clay
desert.
of the Colorado Plateau.
Painted desert.
That's correct. Your toss-up teams. Dustin Hoffman won the 1988 Academy Award for Best Actor for Rain Man, in which he played Raymond Babbitt, a man inflicted with this mental... Chris, North Branch.
Autism.
Autism is correct. North Branch, this will be your extra credit. To see the musical Cats, you'd go to New York's Winter Garden Theater. What would you see if you went to London's Covent Garden Theater?
Opera House.
Midsummer Night's I don't know.
Barbersville.
Barbersville.
Time was called first. You would see an opera, because it is an opera house. So you were late with the answer. Here we go. Here's your next toss-up. 2 states border both Oregon and Idaho. One is Washington. What's the other? Ben Goodrich.
Montana.
It's incorrect. You may take it. North Branch. North Branch. Chris.
Nevada.
Nevada is the correct answer. Your extra credit, North Branch. One of the great European paintings, it's been cut down on all sides, especially on the left, where 2 figures have been completely lost and allowed to become so dirty that it's known by a completely misleading title. What is this painting by Rembrandt?
3 Men and a Nude.
Wait.
Time is up. It's called The Night Watch. And in fact, it was painted as a daytime scene. Here's your next toss-up. This large painting, 24 feet wide and 16 feet tall, was exhibited at the Paris Salon in 1819, 3 years after the shipwreck that inspired it. What is this dramatic painting by Theodore Géricault, now in the Louvre? Anthony Goodrich.
The Wreck of the Hesperus?
That's incorrect. You may take a North Branch. Time's up. It is the Raft of the Medusa. Here's your next toss-up. Saturn has its famous rings divided by bands of space. What are these divisions in the rings called? Bob, North Branch.
Modulus.
Incorrect. You may take a Goodrich. Time's up. They are the Cassini divisions. Henrik Ibsen's most famous plays include Ghosts, A Doll's House, and Hedda Gabler. All of them were written after Ibsen left his native country. Bob, North Branch.
Norway.
Norway is correct. North Branch, your extra credit. It's said that this was the first work of fiction to be blessed by a pope. That seems appropriate. After all, it is a tale of Christ, of the Christ. What is this best-selling novel by Lew Wallace?
Yeah.
Ben-Hur.
Ben-Hur is correct. Another toss-up. Originally, the term referred to a useless, undersized animal. During Reconstruction, it was the name given to white Southern Republicans by their Democratic neighbors. Anthony Goodrich.
Runts?
It's incorrect. Originally, the term referred to a useless, undersized animal. During Reconstruction, it was the name given to white Southern Republicans by their Democratic neighbors. What did they call them? Bob, North Branch.
Scalawags.
Scalawags is the correct answer. Your extra credit, North Branch. Latitude and longitude are used to locate objects on Earth. What kind of objects would you be trying to locate if you were talking about their declination and ascension along the celestial equator?
Stars.
Yeah.
Stars.
What? Oh.
Stars.
Stars is correct. Your next toss-up. A buckyball is a large and extremely... Bob, North Branch.
Buckminster Fuller.
That's incorrect. A buckyball is a large and extremely stable molecule shaped like a geodesic dome. It is the latest allotrope of this element to be Ben Goodrich.
Carbon?
Carbon is the correct answer. Your extra credit, Goodrich. Nebraska to the north, Missouri to the east, Oklahoma to the south, Colorado to the
Kansas.
west. Kansas is correct. Another toss-up. It has been dug up, chipped away by souvenir hunters, and accidentally split into 3 pieces. It's now housed in a Grecian temple on the coast of Massachusetts. What is this hunk of granite associated with the Pilgrims? Chris, North Branch.
Plymouth Rock.
Plymouth Rock is correct. North Branch, your extra credit. Fluorine has 1, oxygen has 3, iron has 4, tin has 10. 2 elements, technetium and promethium, have no stable ones. What are these different forms of the same element called?
Is it allergy? I don't know.
Allotropes.
Isotopes is the correct answer. Here's your next toss-up. Chichikov is a con man who buys the names of serfs who have recently died. He wants to use them to get a mortgage on some land, but has to get out of town before he succeeds. What is this Russian classic by Nikolai Gogol? Time's up. Dead Souls is the answer. Your next toss-up. He ruled Rome for 14 years, during which he ordered the death of his mother Agrippina and his half-brother Britannicus and his ex-wife Octavia. He may have killed his wife Poppaea himself. In AD 68, he committed suicide. Anthony Goodrich.
Nero?
Nero is correct. Goodrich, your extra credit. It contains long, detailed discussions of civil, criminal, domestic, and ritual law, as well as biblical interpretation, parables, and legends. What is this large collection of Jewish law and lore called?
Torah.
That's incorrect. It's the Talmud. And here's another toss-up. If you were traveling in this country, you would be spending rials while visiting the Rub al-Khali and the Kaaba. Bob, North Branch.
Saudi Arabia.
Saudi Arabia is correct. North Branch, your extra credit. 1,500 Irishmen held out against British forces for 6 days in Dublin. When the leaders were hanged, public opinion switched dramatically in favor of Irish independence. What was this uprising in April 1916? Time's up. April was a hint. It was the Easter Rebellion. Here's another toss-up, teams. When traveling abroad, it's recommended that you boil the water or disinfect it by adding tincture of this element. Clint, North Branch.
Iodine.
Iodine is the correct answer. North Branch, your extra credit. In 1873, he was sentenced to 12 years in prison on charges of grand larceny and forgery. He was released after a year and was immediately arrested on a civil charge. He fled the country but was returned to New York and died in jail in 1878. Who was this political boss of Tammany Hall?
Boss Tweed.
Boss Tweed is the correct answer. You heard our buzzer behind us. Our game and our season has come to a conclusion, and North Branch repeats as champions. Congratulations to you on a fine defense of your championship. And Goodrich, it's been a long time since a Goodrich team has progressed this far in high school challenge. You should all be very proud of yourselves. And of course, I should remind you, this is a team full of juniors. So we could expect around this time next year to see Goodrich back. We wish you the best of luck in additional competitions in this year and throughout the season. Right now, I would, first of all, we'd like to say hello to Barb Ravis, who's the coach of the Goodrich team, who is home recuperating from an illness. But representing her is Eric Larson, and I'm proud to add that Eric is also a graduate of the University of Michigan Flint. So I'm going to ask Eric to come up here, if you would please, Eric. Congratulations on a fine season.
Thank you.
Okay, and on behalf of all of us here at High School Challenge and our underwriters for High School Challenge and the University of Michigan Flint here, it's my pleasure to present you with this finalist trophy for High School Challenge to your team. Congratulations. And now I would like to ask, and this is getting to be old hat, as it were, Gordon Winther, coach of the North Branch team, to come up, please. Please, yes, you may come on. First of all, I'd like to say that part of what Genesee Intermediate School District does for the champions of High School Challenge each year is qualifies them and pays their expenses for a trip on Memorial Day weekend to Chicago, Illinois, actually to Lake Forest, Illinois, to Lake Forest campus for the ASCN National High School Challenge Championships. And I'm proud to say I'm a part of that group, and I'll be there moderating again this year and look forward to seeing you and the team there.
Thank you. We'll be there.
Okay, good enough, Gordon. And on behalf of WFUM, the University of Michigan Flint, and our underwriters, GISD, Citizens Bank, and Kessel Food Markets, it's my pleasure to present you once again with our 1996 championship trophy. Thank you. Thank you, Gordon. And to all of you who have been with us all season on High School Challenge and are afraid you're going to miss your weekly Monday night fix of academic competition, tune in next Monday night at 8. We'll be presenting 4 of the outstanding junior high and middle school teams from throughout our region for a very special competition. Thanks for being with us throughout the season for High School Challenge. I'm Jim Gabriel.